just a few important key reminders. Our upcoming election will be held on November 6th. And for those who want to vote early, that will begin on October 22nd through Sunday, November 4th. And I'm so pleased to let you all know that Miami-Dade College North Campus, as well as the Kendall campus, has now been designated as an early voting site. We're so very proud of our students, faculty, and staff that championed the effort, as well as our mayor who finally gave the green light. Thank you so much. So before we get into questions, I will allow our panel members to go ahead and restate your name, position, and your office, and tell us what drives you to do the work that you do within this community. So I'll go ahead and start with my dear friend, Mr. Alvin Gaines.
I was afraid you'd start with me. Good evening. My name is Alvin Gaines, and as Stephen mentioned, I'm all of those things, but I'm really just a nobody. Trying to tell everybody about somebody and something that will better our community. I've been involved with PTA since my oldest girl came to the public school system. She's now a high school senior, ready to leave my house and go off into this big thing they call the world. What drives me are those three people, Kiara, Alvin, and Alyssa, and the people that are wearing yellow shirts. From a parent's perspective, there's a passion. And in my spare time from PTA and other efforts, I have the pleasure of working in funeral services. So for everything that the home, the school, and the law enforcement community gets wrong, I have to see on Saturday morning. That work is probably the thing that's closest to my heart aside from my children and my family. But I am tired of burying young people. And in whatever capacity I have the opportunity to champion improving the lives of young people, I do it. So that's who I am, just nobody.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Dorothy Ruth Bendross Lindenthal. And I could speak for a very long time as to what drives me, but let me back up for a moment. I am your school board member for District 2, and you're sitting in District 2. The boundaries are north to 135th Street, south to 5th Street, west to 37th Avenue, and east to the Bay. As a former state representative, I represented all that I speak of, but even more. I was blessed to represent all the items on Miami Beach that always drew a smile. Why? Because when we were growing up, that was the time that you could not be on the beach at night. So we named that place Sundown City. So for a little girl who grew up in Liberty Square housing projects, I was always looked at by the people as if to say, how'd you get over here? When we knew that you all were not supposed to go beyond 12th Avenue. Well, the beach is a long, long way from 12th Avenue. But because I had people who really, really, really loved me and thought I was smarter than anything, my scout masters and teachers, so much so that I was allowed to skip grades. So as I sit here and answer the question, what drives me? From 0 years old to those who are much, 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 much older, the elderly, because I believe that everybody has value and everybody has worth. So on August 28th, I was given a mandate to work harder, save children, educate families. I was re-elected to District 2. So I don't plan to play with this mandate. And I say it from the bottom of my heart because there are people who don't think that you can do what you can do because of your zip code. So just look out. And I say this so everyone will go out and tell everyone. The board member had a challenger. Well, I've been doing this for a number of years, and I didn't think I would have a challenger, but it's America. And anyone who wants to run can run. But I want you all to understand, as I was talking to a colleague of mine earlier, that when you're growing up in this society, don't let anyone fool you that a certain age is not capable. Learn all that you can learn so that you can be all that you can be. And for the children, I continue to donate every year for your travel from the school board, from my budget. You will stay in that budget. You will stay in that budget because, again, you are our future. But I always say you are our now. So just remember, your school board member is on Team Youth. Thank you all for coming out. And let's see what we can say that you don't know. You know more than you want us to think you know. We're aware. So God bless you, and I'll see you on the journey.
My name is J.D. Patterson. I just happen to be right now the assistant chief of the Miami Gardens Police Department. Work very hard with the only female chief in the area. Her name is Chief Delman Noel Pratt, and we serve a city of 113,000 residents. And we have one of the founding council persons here in the form of us, Representative Watson. What drives me every day is what's been driving me all my life, and that's a desire to make a difference as long as I have breath. I want you to know how important you are to me, talking to the youth, but at the same time, what we represent as a people too. I have never culturally accepted anybody trying to label me anything, because the reality is it don't matter what they say. What matters is what I try to do with what God has given me. So my motto comes from Brownsville Middle School back in 1972. And that motto was, not at the top, but rising. And I've never forgotten it. And I do want to see my children, I have 2 daughters, to do the best that they can so that they can make a difference in this world. So I'll encourage anybody I come across, including policemen, because I don't think policemen are put here to be anybody's enemy. Policemen are put here to serve. And if they have an issue with serving, then I have an issue with them. And I deal with them in the capacity that I serve in. Right now as the assistant chief again at Miami Gardens, but I also served for 32 years in the Miami-Dade Police Department and wound up leaving there as a director, appointed by the same mayor that Stephen talked about, who gave him that money when he came in and talked about child immunity. So our voices do matter. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ian Moffitt. I'm currently the Chief School Safety Compliance Officer for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, a brand new office of school safety they established right after Margaret Stoneman Douglas. Prior to that, I was the Chief of Police for school police for 5 years. What drives me? What drives me is the passion and where I came from. You see, I was born in a third world country, the only English-speaking country in South America. And being a double minority coming to North America because of the risk that my parents took. My dad's sitting in the front seat right now. I've told this story many times. The risk that my parents took for my sister and I to come to North America and eventually get here to Miami in the mid-'80s, having the intestinal fortitude to do what they need to do, to come here to make a better life. What drives me is that second grade teacher that I had that realized a young black boy living in Toronto in the 70s wasn't easy. And she saw potential in me. And she said, you can make a difference. I went to summer school, that summer school. She spoke to my parents and said, he has the potential, but he needs to come out of his shell. What drives me is the respect I have for my dad and the advice and the mentorship he gave me to be where I am today. See, I always wanted to be a police officer. I always wanted to serve. The best advice I got from him is join the military. Be all you can be. That's what drives me. And giving back to this community, servicing this community, and making sure our kids get educated. Because without education, you can't do anything. Trust me, if I can make it out of a third world country based on having mentors and parents and family and education, anybody can. That's what drives me.
Good evening. First, who am I? I am Shakita Thomas Butler. I am the wife of Keith Sterling Butler. I am the mother of Ellis Butler. I am the First Lady of the Logos Baptist Church. I am a commander at the City of Miami Police Department for the beautiful net area of Coconut Grove. I represent Chief George Kalina for the City of Miami Police Department. What drives me? What drives me is service. The Word of God tells us the greatest among us are those that serve. Well, I want to be one of His great people among Him. Service, paying back, making sure that we reach back and we leave the world better than when we were here. My goal is to make sure that whoever comes behind me has a better slate than I had before me. Education is very important, but support is super important. This is why I am the founder and CEO of Butler's Angels, a mentoring program, as if I didn't have enough on my plate. But God always finds time and strength to make sure that I find time for children. I only birthed one, but that one cannot save the world alone. It takes a village to make sure that there are many more that can help make sure that we are okay, because you all are going to rule the world. You all are going to make sure that I have health care. You all are going to make sure that I have somewhere to lay my head when I become an elderly person. So I invest in you all. I don't have to know your name, but I have to know your heart. And tonight, I want to get to know your heart. So open up, don't be ashamed, don't be afraid. Ask us whatever you need to ask us, because making sure that you all are okay is what drives me. Thank you.